like you're 3 foot tall. When it's just you, well, times can be tough. When there's no one there to catch your fall. 3 foot tall. Like you're 3 foot tall. 3 foot tall. When there's no one there to
Stress out, waking up, it's time to get it. Ain't no room for the haters, ain't got time for jealousy. I'm too focused on the music, the money.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Banter 90 Football Podcast. I am your host, Ahmed. As you may or may not know, I'm a United fan, and with me are my co-hosts, Mark Lyon, our resident Arsenal expert, James Mome, and actually he goes by Jimmy. Jimmy is the Real City fan of the group, and then V2, who's pretty much my enemy here, and our resident Liverpool advisor. So, welcome to the show. As you guys probably know, today we are going to cover a couple of things. The first is an article on B90, and that article is called Observe the Speed Law. And the article was actually written by Mark Brown. And so what we're going to do today is just discuss what the article had to talk about. And just to give you an overview, this was an article about Mbappe and how he's developed really well for Monaco and how, you know, his name just becomes more popular and popular with each passing game. And so what we want to do is just talk a little bit about, is this the right time for him to make a change? Is it better for him to stay under the radar a little bit more? That kind of thing. And so I want to just kind of turn it over to you guys and just get your thoughts. So, Mark, we'll start with you.
Okay. Well, Mbappe is a product of Monaco, I guess you could say. That's pretty close to home, being that he's, walking in the footsteps of Thierry Henry, greatest striker to ever play the NFL. But I was expecting you guys to say something. I'm glad you guys agree with that because he's the best striker to ever play in the NFL. But anyways, so I think he's a very, very interesting player in a sense that his goal scoring tally at his age is, especially in the French league, is definitely something to keep an eye on. He does have some things he has to work on. I mean, obviously as an 18-year-old, you know what I mean? You're not at the height of your development in terms of technical ability. I think that's something he's going to have to work on sooner or later, which I guess in possession, I think his percentages, his passing percentage could be better, things like that. So, you know, those are things he can work on, but I think his development's right where he is to really become, you know, one of the great strikers, one of the great next French strikers, I guess you could say. So I really like the kid a lot. I think he'll leave Monaco this summer. I think the hype is going to become way too great for him to stay. I'm just hoping he goes to the right team that's going to nurture him. I hope he doesn't go to like a Man City or Real Madrid or something that's going to expect too much out of him, and then within 2-3 years he burns out. Obviously, I would hope he goes to Arsenal for obvious reasons, but I just hope he goes to a club where he can continue to develop, and then by the time he's 25, 26, you see the best football, because his best football is yet to come, you know what I mean? And I just don't want him to go to the wrong club to where they expect so much out of him that it burns him out, you know what I mean? Okay.
I just want to add just a quick thing here. Monaco are in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. If he went to Arsenal, he's already accomplished more than what they've done. But anyway.
No, but for real, like, I want to add on where
V2.
Mark, what did you say? Staying in Monaco instead of leaving is maybe the best decision.
That's what I was thinking.
Because of the young players, as mentioned in the article, like, you know, Thomas Lemar who's coming in, and
Bernardo Silva as well.
Bernardo Silva. I think Bakayoko had said that he's going to go to Chelsea, but I have no idea. But, you know, these guys, don't you think he should settle in with them first and then, you know, sort of develop as a player with the crew?
Yeah. But it's you know, we're in a time now where we're in a footballing time now where you have to build in your hype. I mean, there's so much money surrounding him. I doubt Monaco is gonna keep him for the amount of money that people are talking about.
So
I highly doubt it.
I mean, that's totally fair enough because
he deserves to be, you know, the amount of money going around, and one season.
I mean, well, you have to look at
I don't think.
Hold on, guys. Just let's get a little bit of organization here. So V2, I didn't get your point. So you think that he should stay?
Yeah, I think.
And what's your reasoning behind that? Just like the crew, or is there something else to it?
I mean, I think it's partly because of the crew, but at the same time, maybe also his individual, success. Because I feel like, if you look at Alexander Lacazette, I think he stayed for a while.
Yeah.
At Lyon, he could have left. He could have jumped ship.
Would I say that? I just want to stop you right there. Do you think that hurt his stock though? Because remember 2 years ago, his stock.
His stock.
The amount of money that they could
might have
2 years ago.
It might have.
You don't think Monaco maybe looking at that and saying, "Damn, well, Lacazette stayed and they lost maybe 10, 15 million."
Here's the thing. I mean, Lacazette, how old is he? He's 25, isn't it?
26.
Yeah, around there. 26.
Yeah, around there, 25. He's actually 25. And Mbappe is 18. I'm just saying he could stay up until 22. And I think a couple more years, he'll probably do what Benzema kind of did, where he's at in the French league. He plays there, and he literally puts his foot down and becomes a consistent, showpiece. I think that's when Monaco could actually cash in, but also his growth would be tremendous by that point. I'm pretty sure about that. If he's 22, going on at the same growth rate that he is in Ligue 1, I feel like they could definitely cash in and I think sell him for more than what they did Anthony Martial.
Now, would you think he'd be outgrowing Monaco by that time though? Because how much growth is Monaco going to give him? You know what I mean? Monaco's not exactly a footballing factory.
Yeah, that is true, but I mean, I just think personally he needs to look at it from his standpoint, because I feel like if he wants to go ahead and make the jump and he's confident, because I mean Anthony Martial, to be honest, he really had one breakout season in Monaco, which is I think the one where he scored 12, 9 goals or whatever, and then he went to Man United and he has a success. But if Kylian Mbappe, it's one of those things. If he was to go too early, he might not see any growth. Yeah. He might not get any time. That's why I just feel I'm just thinking from my point of view that he should just stay maybe for a season or two, and then make his way to the bigger leagues.
Jimmy, what are your thoughts?
I agree pretty much with everything you said. I think he should stay for at least. He's 18, man. He should stay at least. If it was up to me, he would stay for like 3 more seasons, because he can't go to the big clubs. He's not going to get playing time, especially if you go to a team like Real Madrid, for example. We already got, the likes of Morata, Benzema, Cristiano Ronaldo is still there. I don't think, and then we have like youngsters like Asensio, who's in the team. I don't think he's going to find a lot of minutes. And if he decides to go there, it's more because of the name of Real Madrid, not because he actually wants to, the playing time is not really going to get that much, because there's like a lot of players that are there trying to get playing time, And I feel like,
you think that there's a possibility that they buy him and then just try to loan him right back out though?
I was thinking that.
Well, if you buy somebody for 100 million, for example,
true.
The prices, there's no way you're gonna loan them out. The price is too much for them to buy them that much and then not use them.
Yep.
Yeah, true. So based on the price that we're hearing right now, there's no point of him going anywhere, because if you go to Chelsea, for example, I mean, Chelsea's one of the names, right?
Oh, that he's definitely getting loaned out.
He's
so because we're hearing about Diego leaving, right? They say he's going to China at the end of the season or something. Mm-hmm. But if he wants to go to a club like Real Madrid and all that, I don't think it's the best idea. I think he should stay. And plus, it's his first season. That's the first season he came out, and he's the hype. It's his first season, so he should be just stay, just see how it goes next year. And if he's consistent, that's what I want to see: consistency, not just like one season wonder. I want to see if he's gonna be consistent enough next season, and if he keep doing what he's doing, maybe a year or two, or maybe even 3 years. All the big clubs can come for him, and they can use him.
Hey,
that's what he did. On the whole thing.
Which one is from Ahmed? Do you think? I mean, Ahmed only asking because I know you're a Man United fan, unfortunately. So, my question is: do you think that there was more hype around Mbappe than it was Martial last year?
Yeah. So, I'm gonna answer that question, but let me just touch on the point of answering the original question. It's whether he should leave, whether he should stay. I am going to disagree with all of you, and I am going to say he needs to leave. And there are a lot of different factors that come into that, but I'm going to approach this from the most practical point of view, and that is, in football, there is absolutely nothing guaranteed. He has the hype right now. Right now, everybody wants him. He's the pretty girl at the bar, period.
True.
That is not guaranteed to happen next season. It's not.
I agree with that, too. I agree with that with you as well.
And
I keep going.
That's all I was going to say. And so I think he should capitalize on getting the best contract he could possibly get as soon as possible. Because,
but it's not all about contract.
But listen. In the end, this is a career for these guys. This is how they make a living, right? And so after a few years, your career is over unless you go into management or you do something similar to like punditry or something along those lines. Your regular amount of income, you have to find something. I say he needs to make as much money as possible. But let me finish. I'm getting to the football parts. Just wait.
Okay.
And so I think he needs to leave. That from a purely financial standpoint, he should go. From a footballing standpoint, he needs to decide where the best place for him to go would be. He should not go, and this it hurts me to say it, but it's the truth. I don't think he should go to a Manchester United. Mourinho is not the type of person who is going to bring in a young player and say, "You're a rock star. I'm going to start you." And so I think that part right there, it has to be the right team. As Jimmy said, Real Madrid, probably not the right team. Dortmund is a team that plays young players all the time, but they have a lot of them. And their method may result in him getting injured. So that's another thing that he needs to consider. Juve, he's going to have options, and he just needs to decide what the best option for him is, depending on where is he going to get the most playing time, where is he going to be in the spotlight a little bit, because there are teams that will put him in the spotlight a lot better than Monaco is. And then, of course, what level of competition he's competing in. And so it just depends on like which team comes for him and which team he wants to go to. But I just think that he needs to be a little bit more... I think he needs to decide based on like what's best for him at this point. And look, you guys say maybe he should leave at 22. What if he like plays next season and gets a terrible injury? And God forbid that doesn't happen. And that's it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Ahmed. I mean, I know you're saying, it's football, nothing's guaranteed, but I'm saying that's why that's partly part of my decision. Because part of my decision is, if he was to jump ship and go to, like, let's say, Chelsea.
And I'm coming to your question, Mark, about the Martial thing, but go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry to cut in.
Go.
Yeah, I was saying, like, if he was to jump and make that migration to a so-called team, like if it was Dortmund or, maybe even Liverpool for an extent, because we need a striker if he was to come in. Mm-hmm. My point is, what happens if he was to come and he wasn't suited to the Premier League? I mean, yes, Monaco cash in on a good player, but I feel like, we've seen a lot of young players that have come into the league and then just completely, disappeared. Yeah, like David and Gog.
Dude, there's a lot of them. Memphis Depay.
Yeah, or like Sanogo, or like all these guys that are coming in and they're just not shining. That's my point. My point is, I think he's already at a good club in a good setting, because you said what exposure could Monaco not give him? I mean, first of all, in the Champions League, they're playing in League 1.
Is he gonna get a French call up from them? A men's team.
He's already gotten a French call up.
He's already gotten one.
Yeah, I'm talking about a major fight. Remember, World Cup's next year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for me, it's less about like. For me, it's less about like the club that you're playing for, and more about the brand. Like, there is a difference. Like, I get that Manchester United is not.
It's a little different though.
But no, my point is. But my point is,
okay,
like, there's a difference between playing for Manchester United and playing for Monaco. Like, yes, Monaco's in the Champions League, but I guarantee you are going to be more recognized if you are a Manchester United player than if you are a Monaco player.
That's not even, for sure.
But then, right.
There's also one thing we failed to mention so far is the environment built for the type of.
But like I said, so like the coach, that type of thing. So I get it.
Okay, you can go to all the team you mentioned. You might get playing time, but if you don't have like the, probably like the father figure per se, like, for example, with Cristiano Ronaldo, we know how, like, Sir Alex Ferguson took care of him, and then you got, Thierry, right? Mark? Yeah. With Wenger. What's his name? Wenger. Yeah, exactly. You also need, like, somebody that's going to be there to cater,
Yep.
He's too young. Yeah, you got to nurture him. That's for sure. Yeah, exactly. I think the players around him, Martial, maybe lacking right now,
And I actually, so to touch on the Martial point, when you said, is Mbappe bigger than Martial was at the same time? Yes, absolutely. People had not heard of Martial before the Manchester United move. Like,
I'll be honest, I definitely didn't know the summer.
Like, nobody did. Nobody did until, like, they signed him. And then people were like, well, let's watch. And then they realized, okay, this kid actually... Well, a lot of people said £50 million down the drain. Well, he scored again. And so, to me, he's definitely bigger than Martial was at this point, just because of that Champions League exposure and what he's done in the Champions League and what he's currently doing in Ligue 1. But the thing is, Martial came and he that first season for United for Martial was perfect. That's the kind of season he should have expected to have. Or, like, if he said, what's the best season I could have, it would be that, plus a little bit more goals. But that was a great first season. The second season...
You guys leaned on him a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You didn't have Zlatan and
no, but we also had a coach that wanted to promote youth players. Van Gaal, I will credit him with that, man. He played so many youngsters. Sometimes not because...
He doesn't really have much choice.
Exactly. Not because he wanted to. But because he needed to. But still, that is something that I
used to be one team that used to get so much shit about playing young players. Fuck, and now look. Yeah, what team was that?
Anyway, so
I just want to go back to your point about the brand, right? Now, don't you think brand adds an element of?
I'll touch on that. Just give me 1 second.
Stress.
Just give me 1 second. I want to touch just on the point that, like, with Martial and you guys, how you said he kind of faded. I actually think he's fading on purpose. And not because he wants to, but because Manchester United, if he keeps going at the rate that he was going, would have to pay another, like, $20 million for him. And so, like, why wouldn't they, like, hey, we'll slack it off. We've got, Ibrahimovic, Mkhitaryan kind of picking up the slack a little bit, so Martial can sit on the bench a bit.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
No, God, no. I would be like Mourinho's number one hater if he left. If Martial left, I would be like Troops and DT from Arsenal fans. Just Mourinho out every day. But your point.
Yeah. Now going on back to Mbappe, the point that I wanted to make was with the brand. Don't you think that could also hurt him? Because, the article mentioned he's a humble kid. I feel like, maybe he could handle it.
He has his head on tight. His head on his shoulders.
Yeah. Like, Rashford's a humble kid. But, like I said, it's really based on, like, your parents, how they raised you, what kind of personality you have. That's a big part into, in how successful you are.
Okay, so here's another question. Don't you think he could end up like Lukaku when he first went to Chelsea?
Yeah, if he goes to a club like Chelsea. Like I said, it depends on, like, where he goes. Like, I would not want him at United
because it wasn't anything, because Mourinho actually wanted to keep Lukaku, actually.
But, like, he didn't give him the playing time, and he wasn't going to get the playing time.
Yeah, but he wanted to keep him. He wanted to keep him and develop him. He said I wasn't initially not going to be loaning him out on a regular basis.
Yes, but if you looked at it, when he talked to him, like, am I going to start? At the time, Drogba was there. He wasn't going to start over Drogba. Like, Mourinho pretty much told him,
the playing time, and look what happened.
And so, like, that's why I would say, like, Mbappe shouldn't go to United. Like, I think Mourinho's a phenomenal coach when it comes to youngsters. I think he does more harm than good, to be honest.
Yeah. But I think the article touched on a good thing, which is observe the speed law, which is basically, just bide your own time and wait.
Exactly.
And that's what I think is the most important thing. I feel like maybe, I know the World Cup is coming up, but, maybe you shouldn't shoot for that too early.
But my point is, like, there's a consequence of waiting. There's a consequence to waiting.
There is a consequence of waiting. But the point of what I'm trying to make is, I think, that's the safe route. Because I feel like, he should wait in Monaco, you know what I'm saying? He should have maybe 1 or 2 more seasons. Develop, settle down, actually, and become a consistent footballer. Build his craft. And then from there, he could, to start thinking about the next step. But I asked for like the possible World Cup mentions. You never know there's anything, because sometimes managers just like to go ahead and bring on somebody just to go ahead and just to soak him into like the World Cup, the World Cup setting.
I don't know if he's gonna. I mean, it would be very hard to predict what's gonna happen next year in that roster, because France's team is so deep, probably the deepest team in the world right now. And in Germany, but
Belgium's pretty deep too.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of having 25, they have a whole like non-French.
They have an under 25 squad that can win the World Cup. That's France.
Yeah, I mean, they have a squad that didn't even get called up, that are all a bunch of players that are playing on top teams in Europe. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous how much players they have. So it's hard, man. I mean, look at Lacazette. Didn't even get a call up last year. I mean, they said he was maybe injured and stuff like that, but just things like that. It's just there's so many. There's Gamero. There's so many forwards. Ben Yedder too. He's French. I mean, and he's having a great year in Sevilla. I mean, there's so much going on, man. It's so hard to tell. You know what I mean? So who really knows?
Either way, I think he'll make the best decision for him, and we'll just have to live with it. But guys, I think we're running a little bit out of time for that first subject. I want to move on to the next one. But anyone have any final thoughts on Mbappe and whether or not he should leave?
He should stay. Mark, what you say?
He needs to go.
I think he needs to go. I think he needs to go, but just be careful where he goes.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
I know what Marky's talking about. Arsenal. Yeah,
I think he should go to Arsenal for sure.
I think Arsenal would be a good place for him. If Wenger stays, let's put it this way, Mark. Mark, you can have Mbappe if Wenger stays.
If Wenger, he's gonna stay another year. So I'm not gonna be stupid enough to think he's gonna leave this year. So I'm not gonna get my hopes up. So he's definitely staying this year. So I mean, if they pick him up, if they pick him up and Sanchez and Ozil stays and we get another player, I'll be very happy with that. I don't know about. I got him spending $100 million on him. But
let's not dive into the Arsenal pool. I think we'll be in there for a while. But moving on to the next subject, there are 3 players that we want to discuss and just see whether or not they'd be a fit for the teams that we support. So whether or not they'd be a fit at Manchester United, Real Madrid, Arsenal, or Liverpool. And so the first piece is just kind of introduce the 3 players, and they're players that people should be familiar with if they've been watching the sport at all. And Mbappe is one of them. The second is Jesus, Gabriel Jesus at Manchester City. And the third is Ousmane Dembele at Dortmund. And so let's talk a little bit about those 3. And I guess out of the 3, which player would you want to play for your team? And we can start with V2 this time.
Okay. Well,
actually, no, you're a Liverpool fan. We're not starting with you. Jimmy, go ahead.
Fuck.
Well, I mean, it's all really imaginary for Liverpool fans because he wouldn't get any of them. So I mean,
it's not like Arsenal's any better. It's not like Arsenal's. Look. Let's put it this way. Liverpool don't even dream about those players. Arsenal will pass on them, and then 6 years down the road, when they're superstars, they're like, we could have signed them, and that is Arsenal for you. But let's go back. V2, you go ahead, man.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I think the first player, Gabriel Jesus. I think we know about him. Brazilian starlet. Kind of reminds me a little bit of. What was I going to say? He's sort of like he's a good link-up striker. He's smart. He's in the right positions, but he's not like somebody like, let's say, Kylian Mbappe, who's much more like getting behind space, more like a Thierry Henry-esque kind of striker. So I think with the current situation in Liverpool, right, and the way we play football, I think I would much rather go for Mbappe. And the reason why I didn't even mention Dembele, even though Dembele is, in my opinion, the better of all 3, is just like we're in such a need for goals. And I don't feel like Dembele is out there in his career
you'd be surprised,
where he could hit like maybe 20, maybe 15.
I
feel like, De Jesus could hit 15 in the Premier League, no doubt.
A City player?
Yeah, De Jesus. He could hit 15 in the Premier League, especially maybe next year if he actually settles down.
Yeah, and they figure it out between him and Aguero, like who's playing where.
Exactly. I do think that they actually figured it out. Remember when he was with Sané, Sterling, and De Jesus? That actually, to me, looked better than the current setup. The current.
Yeah, but they got to make a decision because Sergio Aguero's way too much class to settle.
But yeah, you get my point though. And then you have Kylian Mbappe. I mean, Kylian Mbappe again, as was mentioned in the article. The thing is, he's got a lot of stuff to work on. Maybe the passing. I don't know if he can fit in the Liverpool game, but I feel like he could. And then
it's better than what you have currently.
He's coming. He's coming from Ligue 1. I feel like Jesus. He's the first couple games. I can't say that he's going to be like absolutely kill the Premier League, but I'm just hoping that he can. I know that he can score goals in the Premier League, but whereas somebody like Mbappe, he's coming from the French league. You don't really know. We'll see how it goes. But Dembele, in my opinion, there's no way that we can even get him. But he's an absolute. I think he's the best out of all three. But I'd rather take Mbappe out of all of them.
Okay. And Mbappe would actually I think Mbappe would work at Liverpool. I think.
Yeah, because I feel like
that's the type of striker you would need.
Well, yeah, with the speed as well. Getting in behind the play and everything, probably hitting people on the break.
He'd be like Sturridge, but 100 times better.
Yeah.
Anyway, who wants to go next? Mark? Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. I think piggybacking on what B2 said, Gabriel is definitely a player that could give you 15, 20 goals once he gets old enough and gets more, I guess, more used to the Premier League game. You can obviously see his exuberance when he's on the field. As a Brazilian, I think he reminds me more of Rivaldo than Ronaldo.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say he's more of a Rivaldo type of striker, in my opinion. Yeah. In terms of his work rate, he's crafty, but he's not a dribbler. Like, you know what I mean? In that sense, he's crafty though in between space, and I think that's what Rivaldo was. Rivaldo was crafty. Ronaldinho and Ronaldo was more the showman. Rivaldo was more the technical. I can score goals.
Mark, if you actually see him in the Brazilian league, he was actually playing on the wing.
Yeah. Right?
He started as a winger, and he was really a great dribbler.
Yeah.
But I think it's just something that's not asked of him. I meant Manchester City.
True. Yeah, that's true.
He's not dribbling as much.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying his link-up play is pretty fucking good. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, of course.
Especially when he's playing with Neymar, it's just ridiculous.
But also, I mean, he's not a small kid. What is he, like 5'11", 6 foot maybe? I mean, he's not a small guy. He's not a small guy. You see him in the Premier League. He's standing up against He's winning headers over a lot of center backs there. And I mean, he's definitely strong. And I think Premier League is going to build him more in terms of his frame and get him to where the size is really going to matter for him. With that being said, obviously, I am a very big admirer of Dembele. I think Ousmane Dembele is probably, in my opinion, as of today, the most talented one out of those three. As of right now.
Not even out of those three, just out of any kid under the age of 20, to be honest.
Yeah, that too. I mean, in Europe, yeah, but I mean, sticking to the question, I think, out of those three, in terms of their development, you can see, like, the kid is so poised.
Which one would you pick on your team?
I mean,
that's the question.
I know. I'm getting to that. I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, guys, give him some space.
he's definitely the best one as of right now, just in terms of how poised he is and playing Champions League football and things like that. But Mbappe being French and just having so much likeness in terms of comparable to how Thierry Henry was at Monaco, and just knowing how much Wenger nurtured him, I think he probably would be the best bet for Arsenal if if I had to choose between the three in terms of a long-term development. Dembele is so talented now, but he's a player that's going to have to be on a team that's going to give him space. And Dortmund does that very well. They're a team that stretches you and gives you a lot of space. Arsenal is a team that plays very intricate, tight passing. We play very very traditional in terms of our own style of football. Very intricate passing, 1-2s, things like that. Dembele is a guy that needs space. You got to give him his own side of the field and let him go to work. And that's cool, but it just doesn't. It wouldn't work in Arsenal, as Mbappe would work perfectly for Arsenal in terms of his development. Would have worked great and his work rate. So I would take Mbappe if I had, if I had,
Did you just say that Dembele would not work at Arsenal?
I'm not saying he wouldn't work at Arsenal. I'm saying if I had to choose the long term, I would say better to have him. But I would, if I didn't choose it, because if Mbappe wanted to come to Arsenal, I'd buy him a ticket to Heathrow today. I would go get a Volkswagen and the Autobahn and drive him to Arsenal.
Yeah, he's like Danny Welbeck, but 100 times better.
Guys, we're gonna get Jimmy's opinion here. Jimmy, what do you think?
Well,
probably the only one that can actually have.
I actually got a best of like sort of both world because I already got on my part-time team, Manchester City. I already got Jesus, so I don't have to talk about Jesus. Yeah, all right. Well, if I have to
Why are you bragging about that?
Player, that will play for Real Madrid. It's Usman, hands down. Usman. We got Ronaldo, who's going down the twilight of his years, and Usman can play pretty much on all three. Like he can play on the left, he can play as a center forward, he can play on the right. So Ronaldo probably not gonna be there, so he can play on the right. And then we have Gareth Bale, who gets hurt every gets 3 months out of the year. He's probably hurt. So Usman can play on the left too. I mean on the right and then on the left. And he can play as center forward also. And there's one thing that impresses me the most about him is the fact that he's ambidextrous. He can literally play with both feet equally well. He can dribble the ball with his left feet if he has to. He can dribble the ball with his right foot if he has to.
And at age 18, that dexterity is pretty amazing.
It's incredible, exactly, Mark. And the one thing that impressed me even more is the fact that when he dribbles, like if you're a player, usually when you dribble with your strong foot, right? You just that's what you use most. You can do step over, you can use you can cut in with your left foot, or but that's a simultaneously with both. You can make a run with his right foot, all of a sudden he switches to his left foot. It's hard to do. I mean, you have to train your mind to do that, and he can do that really well as a youngster. And another thing is the aspect of him creating. Not only is he a threat, he can score, but he can also create. He's not afraid to drop deep in midfield, get the ball, beat people, and then create for his teammates. And not only can he do that, he can also give you the long, the Messi-esque long ball over the top. Like when you see your teammates run, you can see that.
Yeah, his crossing ability is amazing.
Exactly. He's passing. You were talking about Mbappe, passing ability, and he needs to work on that. Usman already got that. He already, he can drop deep. He can see the pass. He can do the 1-2. He's intelligent. His IQ is crazy. Over the year, I feel like now he's a little excessive with the dribbling a little bit, but he's a youngster. We all when you're young, you like to dribble a little bit. You just
that's also a good thing, though. It's a good thing because it.
No, I'm not saying it's bad thing. When Ronaldo came out, Ronaldo was a dribbler. You'd be like,
it's the finishing product that was missing.
Well, now Ronaldo is more effective. Like Messi used to be like a dribbler when he was a kid. Because you're a kid, you want to dribble, you want to, I can beat you. But over time, he's gonna know. He's gonna learn to know when to dribble, not when to all these things. He's gonna learn over time. But if I have to pick one player, it's got to be Usman.
I think I agree with Jimmy that Usman would be the best bet for Real Madrid. Just because he would have so much space to work with, and his pace would be deadly.
That is amazing,
Jimmy. But would he start over Cristiano and Bale?
Well, I don't think he would. This is a scenario where we pick and just think, but he's not gonna start over Cristiano.
Yeah, you see, because that was kind of like the formula of my,
How many years has Cristiano left?
I will give Cristiano Ronaldo's next season, and possibly at maximum 2 more years.
I would say 3 more seasons.
If Zidane calls up Usman and say, "Hey, listen, give us 3 years, Ronaldo will be out, and we'll hand you the keys to play on their wing and do whatever you want." You don't think he's going to take that offer? Or
I think he's going to take it.
Chances are they may even loan him back. They may even loan him back to Dortmund for a year. Yeah, say, hey, look, and then. But
here's another question.
Yeah.
If Dembele, first of all, Dembele, I think he definitely could start at Real Madrid.
Yeah, definitely.
At this point, right now, today?
No. Then would that slow down the growth of Asensio?
That's exactly what I mean.
Would Isco have to leave? Even to make it much more complicated. Just one more thing. Yeah, James, but make it complicated. Let's say if indeed they kept Cristiano and they could, Zidane decided to move Cristiano much more central. Does that mean that Benzema is?
No, that's not. No problem. For sure.
All right.
But Perez loves him. Well, the only worry I have is Morata. Morata is this
leaving.
Good striker.
He's gonna leave along with Isco. They're both gonna go to Barcelona, Jimmy. They're both
Morata
gonna go to
came back
Barca
because he realized grass was greener on this side, and I think Perez probably told him that once Benz is gone. No, he has been used. Really, he has been used, and he has been amazing this season. Fantastic. And I heard a lot of things about buying different players, and I'm just like, we already got Morata in the team. If it's up to me, after Benzema, Morata should take the starting role. Oh, that should take the starting role. Well, I don't think that's going to happen.
Unless they get an Aubameyang or a Lewandowski, then yeah, he should.
Yeah, then Aguero.
Or Aguero.
So Jimmy,
here are my thoughts on this.
Any of these players, I will not take Real Madrid. I will start Morata. You wouldn't take Aguero? No, Morata. I wouldn't. I would.
Guys, that is a different debate. That's a different debate.
I'll back Jimmy on that one because Morata is just.
That's a different debate. Let's hold off here. Let's hold off on the different debate, guys.
Let's go back to.
Let's focus on the debate. So here,
it's your turn.
Here are my thoughts on this. I personally, if I was managing United, I would take Dembele out of all of them, but I would even hesitate then. And the reason for that is, like you guys said, I think he's definitely the most talented and most skilled of all three. I don't think Dembele, at this point right now, has the physical body to be able to compete in the Premier League.
I agree about it.
In the Premier League, I think he is much stronger than Dembele is. I have watched Dembele for Dortmund, and I will tell you, the kid is fantastic, but he can be pushed off the ball very easily. Yes, but Rashford is also stronger than he is. Are you kidding? Have you seen Rashford?
I would say this comment. I actually agree with Ahmed. I agree with Ahmed to an extent. Here's why. Honestly, I think all three of them wouldn't be. You got David Silva.
Let me finish.
I think I agree with Ahmed to an extent. In United's kind of way of doing things, they normally have those bigger players. If you really think about it in history, how many very small finesse players have Man United had over the years? Look at Ronaldo. Ronaldo got beefed up a lot when he got to United and became the player he was because physically he could take the abuse. And Sir Alex Ferguson even said it. When he first got to United and he was dribbling and things like that, he was afraid that he was going to get hurt. Yep. And he said to him he had to slow down his dribbling. He had to do it, and he had to physically become a better player to take the hits in the Premier League. Now, with that being said, I don't think Dembele won't work in the Premier League. I think for United, I agree with Ahmed and think that Ahmed, continue what I was saying.
So what I was going to say is the reason I would take out the other two is Mbappe and Jesus. I would rather see Rashford in the striker role for United to develop and grow because I think he's a phenomenal talent. And I would rather see Martial on the left. And so what we would need is someone who plays on the right. And what I've seen from Dembele on the right side, he would be a fantastic player. I just don't think he's going to come in to United and be able to start, period. And that is purely because of Mkhitaryan, because Martial and Rashford. They are all able to play on that wing, and they are all physically stronger, and Mourinho prefers those types of players. Period.
Not better than Usman. So
But let me finish. Hold on. And so I think if he did come to United, like Mark said, he would need a lot of development. And I don't think he would come into the starting lineup right away. I don't think he would walk into a starting lineup at United, period. And I think that would be bad for his career, so why would you do it? I would rather United take that money and spend it on someone like a Renato Sanchez. But that's my personal opinion. But would love to hear your thoughts on this.
I agree. I agree with
my thought on that. That is bullshit. Mark.
No, here's why I agree with that though, because like I said, I don't think that but it's not because I don't think Ahmed really thinks that like Dembele is less talented as a player than Rashford.
No, I actually think he's one of the most. I think right now, if you look at like who's the most talented young player, it would be Dembele. Period.
Yeah,
There's no debating that.
I back you on that, and I really truly believe that you think that. But I think if you're really looking at it in the scope of what United does traditionally and what Mourinho does with his teams traditionally, players like Dembele don't normally work in either of those scopes because Mourinho loves the physically demanding players. He likes players that not only have
favored Willian over Kevin De Bruyne.
Exactly, just things like that. I mean, it should tell you right then and there. And United has never... Name me 5 United players that have Dembele's frame that's been successful in the last 10 years. 3, matter of fact. Name me 3, V2 and Jimmy.
I would
3
say maybe
United players.
I think of
Go back to that thing what you said about Willian was because Mourinho does not trust youth.
But like I said, so like why would you
at the time was younger and Willian is 28.
That's all the more reason, though. That's all the more reason to say why it's not going to fit you that he wouldn't work in the team. So my point is, you can find me 3 players that have played at United that have been Dembele's size and his frame and his ability in terms of his finesse ability. Find me. There's none because it just doesn't work in their traditional way of playing. It's just the way they are. Arsenal's a little different because Arsenal's way more finesse, way more touches.
Okay, but here's the thing. I mean, I don't get this whole tradition thing. I mean, Olivier Giroud does not fit the tradition of any Arsenal player.
And that's why it doesn't work out. That's why Arsenal fans...
It doesn't work out. I mean, like
but V2. Let me put it this way. V2.
Had in 10 years that it started for Arsenal.
V2.
Look at his numbers.
Exactly. Look at his numbers. Compared to now, look at
because you're comparing him to Thierry Henry and Robert.
Exactly. That's what he's compared to.
That's still he's a great effort, isn't he?
I compare it to Eduardo. Compared to Adebayor's best year. If you compare Adebayor, Eduardo, Robin van Persie, Thierry Henry, yes, Adebayor's best year at Arsenal
was fantastic. He was like 25 goals.
20 goals consistent. But what is he consistently doing? Consistently doing what? It took it. He's been at Arsenal for 4 years, and this is the first year he scored against. Arsenal. Come on, like this might be.
But let's go back. No, hold on. Let's go. This is a different debate, guys. Let's go to the Dembele thing. V2. What was your point?
Yeah, I just want to go ahead and Mark. To be honest, you're right. I cannot mention a United player that has the physicality of has had the physicality of Dembele under the Ferguson era. I can't mention anyone. Yeah, but that was a different football, a different case of football. But my point is, guys, I know, the Premier League is much known for its physicality, but man, Dembele is such a good player technically.
Yes, I get the dribbling.
Saying that he won't fit in the Premier League.
At United, Mourinho is gonna look at him and say, "You need to grow a little more."
I think he could. What about last season?
What about
Rashford last season?
Yeah,
you didn't have that idea.
Like I said, he didn't. Mourinho wasn't the manager then, and Van Gaal needed people. We had like 7 starting players out.
I know he needed people, but didn't Rashford just drop into that team like a fish in water?
Yes, and like I said, the reason he did it is because different manager, different football.
The Rock. Come on.
He's about sworn. I mean, Dembele is like 5'7", 5'8".
By the way, Rashford is physically bigger than Dembele, like by like a big margin.
5'10".
He's like 6 foot. No, he's not 6. He's 5'10". I'm looking at that. He's 5'10", a buck 70.
Really? Let me check.
He's 5'10", man. He's not that tall.
Exactly. He's pretty tall.
It's not that tall.
Hey, that's the average height in the U.S.
Yeah, Riyad Mahrez is 5'10". He's
But Riyad Mahrez is bulkier. Like, he's so much more muscular than he is.
Okay. But my point is, take the team aside. He can still run the league. I don't care what you say.
I think he's too young to run the league.
And I honestly feel.
Or you put him at Arsenal, or you put him at
United. Put him at
He's going to do better than he would do at United.
Put him at United. You put him at United, he's still going to do well.
Who? Look, hold up, V2. Where would he play at United? We have Mata, we have Mkhitaryan, Martial, Rashford. All players that have proved themselves to Mourinho.
Exactly.
And they've all proved themselves to Mourinho.
You guys need to say that 20 million. I would drop myself so fast.
You would drop who, Mata?
I think you're missing the point.
Good.
I don't think you mean.
Wait, did you just say you would drop Mata?
I'm sorry, bro. All the bitches gotta be like, oh, Martial, nigga.
Listen, if I was to do this, right, from a standpoint, Ibrahimovic up front, right, and I would probably do Henrik Mkhitaryan behind him. On the left side, maybe if you want to put Martial, go ahead. Dembele on the right. Now, if you want to switch it up again, you can put up front Ibrahimovic. Down the middle, you could put Juan Mata. I don't care. You could put Mkhitaryan on the left, but still on the right, you're going to put Dembele.
I think you're missing.
No, you are definitely, dude. You don't understand. There are no teams that I watch more than Manchester United and Dortmund, and I will tell you, physically speaking, Dembele would not get onto this United team while Mourinho's manager. Period. There's like it's not even going to be debated.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying when you require somebody to be dropping back and doing all the hard work. Is that the part of physicality you're mentioning, or are you talking about physically strength?
I'm talking about both. I am talking about both. The tracking back, where you're going to have to defend, you're going to have to be matched up against people who are big. I don't think he can do that. And then two...
He's doing that at Dortmund right now?
No, he's not. He is not doing it at Dortmund. That is not how they play. Jimmy!
As a matter of fact, you could argue Pulisic does more tracking back.
I agree with that statement as well.
Okay, but
here's another thing. I just want to add. Don't you think his attacking prowess just adds more than his need to be dropping back?
But we have that for the attacking prowess. Why would you take Mkhitaryan out the team?
Manchester United here.
They're asking you to go to the best player of Manchester United. Period. 2 years. If you go to Manchester United, who's my Dembele? In 2 years, he's going to be the best player you guys got.
I'm going to say bullshit. I think he has a bigger chance of failing at United than becoming a star.
Bold about that shit, too.
That's a very good... Jimmy, I agree with you there.
I disagree.
That's like putting Sanchez at United. I feel like it wouldn't work.
What do you mean Sanchez wouldn't work at United?
Sanchez, I'd love to have Sanchez at United. I would love to have Sanchez at United.
Sanchez better than Griezmann. Are you serious?
Where would you play Sanchez at Manchester United today?
Striker, period. Take Ibrahimovic out the team, play Sanchez.
What would you do? Where are you gonna put him? Where him and Zlatan?
No, take him. Bench Ibra.
That's what I'm saying.
Bench Ibra. Period.
Listen what's up. I said in the current 11, where do you fit him? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're gonna bench Ibrahimovic and put him up top by himself. You're gonna put Sanchez up top in Manchester United's offense.
I just want to ask. This is stupid. Completely different turn to Sanchez, but yo. Listen to yourself. I would play the two of them up front.
I would take Ibra out.
Then who are you taking off, though? Is what I'm saying.
Who am I taking off? Take your pick. Martial, Rashford, Mata.
Listen. We're talking about Alexis Sanchez.
Ahmed said this last time. If Sanchez, before before the Liverpool game, and I disagreed with him. Sanchez was not at Arsenal. You guys did the table talk, and I disagreed with him. And I'm telling you, I after that, I went up to Ahmed and I said, Ahmed, listen, you were 100% fucking right. Sanchez is a fucking good.
I think you guys are getting out of hand when I make these statements. Like, you guys are just assuming that because I say something like, that means he's not good enough for United. I never said he wasn't good enough for United. I'm saying certain players
would have to be taken
teams.
out.
Yeah. Like, you put certain players on certain teams, they're going to perform differently based off the team.
I'm not saying
players. Dembele's class. Dembele will not perform the same at United as he would at Dortmund or Arsenal.
Guys, as much as I am loving the detour that we're taking with this conversation, I think we need to just bring it back in. Final thoughts on the 3 players. Who would you take? Who wouldn't? Anything to add or anything like that?
Yeah, I just want to add, Mark, I totally agree where you're coming from. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, but I mean, on top of that, just going back to the 3, I'll pick Mbappe for the sake, because I think we need a player like that. I mean, I'll take any.
He'll take any of the 3 if you can get them.
Any of the 3.
At this point in time, I take what I can get as well. And I think that
I'll honestly take what I can get, but I mean, I think Dembele is the best out of all 3.
I think I agree. I think Dembele is the best out of the 3, but Mbappe would be in 5 years from now, if all 3 of them were at Arsenal, I would see Mbappe doing the most based off our team, which is the same thing I'm saying in Ahmed's situation. If you put those 3 players and give them 5 years at Manchester United, I don't see Dembele in 5 years being better for United, any better than those 3 because of United's setup. That doesn't mean that he's not class. Doesn't mean he's the most talented.
It just means that he could be a bigger player for a different team.
That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
That's all I'm saying.
All right. Any last thoughts? Alrighty. Well, I have one last thought, and that is, V2, just remember, man, with each passing year, it's another year you don't win the Premier League. Anyway, I am out, and you guys have a great